do I communicate with my students? You can do lectures, class websites, in-class discussion, answer questions, office hours, and class emails in an online course. In addition, there are many new communication possibilities to interact with your students individually and as a group. Why is instructor communication important in an online course? The instructor provides expert guidance of the learning. Your student's experience should be distinct from the experience of a person who just goes online, watches some videos, and perhaps reads some material to try to learn things on their own. The big difference with an online course is having you, the instructor, there to provide expert guidance of what resources to use, when to do which activities, and what assessments to take. You also keep students on track. You provide the structure, deadlines, and motivation to help students successfully progress through the course material. Finally, your active communication in the course gives instructor presence. Having strong instructor presence has been shown to increase student persistence, perceived learning, and student satisfaction in online courses. So, as you're designing your communication, you always want to make sure you're creating an active, visible presence for yourself within the course. This really begins by creating a welcoming environment. You want to humanize your course so that students do not feel like they're being taught by a computer, but rather a caring instructor. Humanizing a course has been shown to lead to increased student comfort level and greater investment by students in the course. You might ask then, how do I create a welcoming environment online? An easy way to do this is by creating a short introductory video or audio recording. In this, you can give an overview of what the course is about, provide details about the course structure, share your professional background, and express your enthusiasm for the course. A similar welcome letter or email can also be used. A webcast or synchronous online meeting can be used to give a live welcome to the students online and perhaps respond to their questions. Another option is to have students post pictures and profiles of themselves so they can get to know each other and feel more comfortable interacting. You can assign groups to create smaller student communities within the class. You can even create an online class lounge or discussion forum. This is a nice way to provide students an opportunity to interact with each other informally. There are two main genres of your communication with students: logistics and content. Let's first talk about communicating logistics. The most common way to communicate logistics is through your course homepage, often hosted in a learning management system. Your homepage can include your syllabus, assignments, deadlines, and any additional instructions needed to complete course tasks. Class email is great for logistics information. At the start of the course, a class email can be used to tell students where to access the course information and provide instructions on how to get started with the course. Later emails to the class can be used to remind them of upcoming deadlines or provide additional instructions or clarification on assignments. Discussion boards are a great way to respond to logistics questions. Very often, students can even answer each other's questions. If a student has a question about when a particular assignment is due, chances are that another student can point them in the right direction. This cuts down on your email time. As mentioned before, a course over video is a nice way to create a welcoming environment. This video can also be used to communicate logistical information. Finally, online announcements and a course calendar can be used within your course homepage for communicating logistics information such as upcoming deadlines. Now that we can deal with communicating logistics, we might ask, how are we going to deal with communicating content and answering content questions? This can include not just student emails, but having students actively communicate in processing the material. In a face-to-face class, this would include the communication that you might have used answering student questions in class, asking students to respond to questions, having class discussions, and the time spent working with students in office hours. Basically, we would like to address how to formulate this type of communication in an online environment. This is often the thing that instructors are most worried about in designing an online class. You can still use individual student emails. With large class sizes, though, this tends to be very time-consuming and impractical. You can send emails to the entire class. If you notice common questions, you can send the response to everyone. A live webcast or synchronous online meeting is a great way for you to talk about the material and then be able to answer questions on the spot or pose questions to the students to talk about or think about. You can use discussion boards as a way to have students process content. There's two basic formats, open or prompted. An open discussion format is one in which the students post their own questions and respond to each other's posts. Basically, they can talk about what they want to talk about. In contrast, a prompted discussion board is one in which you, the instructor, provide a prompt or assignment, and then students respond to that. Frequently, prompted discussion posts are graded and included as part of the student's grade in the course. When grading discussion boards, you want to be sure to be very clear ahead of time about the rubric and method that will be used in assessing student posts. Another option for content communication is online office hours. You can set times that you are available in an online environment for students to drop by and ask questions, much like you would in a face-to-face course. The nice thing with online office hours is that you're not limited by the size of your office as to how many students you can accommodate, and you can often easily record these office hours to make them available to students who are unable to attend. You can make quick webcam video messages to the class as the course progresses. If you see common questions or issues in the discussion boards, you can address these in a video message. This shows them that you're paying attention to their learning, and it's an easy way to respond to questions or clarify an issue. Finally, there exist technologies that enable you to let students tag questions and comments in your video lectures. Work with your instructional designer if you'd like to learn more about this option. Let us close now with some final tips for designing online student communication. First, set clear expectations for how students can expect to interact with you. Let them know, are you going to be checking email? Are you going to be responding to every student email? How frequently will you be monitoring discussion boards? Can they expect to get a hold of you at 3 a.m.? Let them know how and when you'll be communicating with them, and let them know where they should go to access course information. Another tip, you can work with your instructional designer to identify available technologies appropriate to the communication in your course. Many fields have special communication needs. For example, you may want to find communication technologies that let you use mathematical equations, or draw chemical diagrams, or upload audio files, or a host of other specialized needs. A final tip is that you can use student questions to help revise course communication for clarity. The first time out, make note of things that multiple students have questions about. Some of these may be able to be addressed through thoughtful redesign of the course homepage for your next offering. You can often clarify instructions, reorganize materials, or make certain pieces more prominent to aid students in accessing the course logistics information. Well-designed course logistics communications allows you to spend less time answering logistics questions and more time engaging students with the real teaching of the course content.